Hi, everyone. Do you know next week is a Thanksgiving? So this interview session, I will ask Heidi about it. So Heidi, what is Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is a holiday celebrated in the fall. In Canada, they celebrate it in October. In the
Oh,
US, we celebrate it in November.
or is it in Canada actually like celebrate in October?
Yes, they
Oh,
celebrate.
I don't know that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they celebrate about 1 month, 6 weeks before us.
Hmm.
So in US, it's on the fourth Thursday of November every year.
So it means like every year it's a calendar change that actually Thanksgiving Day is going to be changed.
Yes, the date changes, the day does not. So it's fourth
Okay.
Thursday, but the date will change. It was started officially back around when Abraham Lincoln was president. There's a lot of
Oh,
history behind it as to how it came to be. So you can Google that. There's lots of material online. However, I think we should focus on the modern celebrations and the impact it has on your business and friendships, especially
hmm.
when working with American colleagues in particular.
So it's in terms of history-wise, like you say, Abraham Lincoln present time, it's started. What's related about religious belief, or what is it all about?
Okay, the origin of Thanksgiving is when the first group of settlers came over from Europe to set up a new colony, a new village, and eventually a new country in the US.
Mm.
They had a really tough winter and they had
Ah,
a really tough life.
mm.
So there's a lot of kind of story around it. How much is true, how much is not exactly super clear. But part of it is at the end of the first harvest, like they were there over summer and into the fall. Many of the adults in their group had died from diseases.
Oh,
And
wow.
the Native Americans who were in the area helped them by teaching them ways to plant food and grow local things. For example, corn is a North American food. Before the colonists came to the US, there was no corn outside of North America, so not grown in Europe at that point.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that.
turkey and cranberry are also North American foods. So they came to a new country, found new food, had no idea what to do with it. So with the help of the Native Americans, they were able to survive the summer and survive as a colony. So in the fall, they gathered for a time of giving thanks to God, to tell him, we appreciate everything you've done, your provisions, your guidance, for giving us these new friends. And they gave thanks. In the pictures, though, there's usually Native Americans and Puritans, the first settlers together. Probably didn't happen that way at the original,
Ah, okay.
but that's all history books. You can go into detail. One thing that is very common in the US is watching Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. You can watch it in Japan, it's on DVD. It's on TV every year on usually the day of Thanksgiving or the night before. So many
Mm.
families will gather around and watch that version of the Thanksgiving story together every year.
So it means like a Thanksgiving is like it's like a Christmas or like for Japan like a New Year's celebration. Some family got together,
Yeah,
and then every shop is in are going to close or like open or.
there's a great debate on that. When I was a kid, every shop was closed on Thanksgiving,
Mm.
except maybe the gas stations and maybe McDonald's sometimes was open part of the day. But usually all the stores were closed, like Japan used to do for New Year's like 20 years ago. So you'd
Okay.
have to think, the ATM is going to close, the grocery store is going to be closed. But now the Christmas shopping season often is seen as starting the day after Thanksgiving. It's called Black
Ah.
Friday. Black Friday, getting the companies out of the black. So on Black Friday, people are rushing to the stores and it gets worse every year. So some stores have started their Black Friday sales on Thanksgiving Day.
Mm.
And in some areas, that has caused a lot of discontent, a lot of frustration, because people don't think it's fair that other people should work on Thanksgiving. But there's also
Oh.
people who want to go shopping on Thanksgiving.
So, so basically Thanksgiving and a day like everybody's like to appreciate for that like survive and from hardship,
Yeah.
and then to show that the appreciation to that the neighbors and families and people working with
Yeah. It's a
eh,
time to gather and be thankful.
together. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So for Christians, we usually go to church and we have a special Thanksgiving church service, either on
Mm.
Wednesday night or Thursday morning, or some places do both.
I
So
see.
that is a key part of our celebration. And then we gather with our family and friends at a big dinner, usually in
So,
the middle of somebody's house.
so what is it usually to that for Thanksgiving dinner and food?
What do we eat?
Yeah, what do you eat?
Okay. The main thing in most places is a
Yeah.
big turkey. And I'm talking big turkey, as big as you can fit in your oven if you have many people coming. We also have potatoes and gravy. There's usually white potatoes and sweet potatoes. Sometimes the sweet potatoes are cut thin and then have like a marshmallow melted on top. So they're very, very sweet. I know I like your expression.
Marshmallow on top
Marshmallow, yeah, on top of sweet
on
potatoes. Yeah,
on sweet potato.
yeah. I don't eat it, so I don't make it, but yes. Yeah,
So
it's a traditional dish.
and you mentioned about cranberry. It's that North American food, so it's a cranberry sauce and turkey
Yeah,
because of that as well.
yeah, we do cranberry sauce. We also do things like Brussels sprouts and green bean casserole. Where I grew up, it's the northern Wisconsin. It's also deer hunting season. The week of Thanksgiving is the first week of deer season. So many families will also eat deer or fish. There's a lot of people who go fishing that time of year because it's right before the winter ice fishing season. So depending on what your family's tradition is, since America is a mix of people from many countries, Thanksgiving dinner can end up with a mix of foods, many food traditions all together on the table.
I see. So like a totally Thanksgiving is like a family things and
Yeah.
like a Christmas.
Yes.
So is it towards the end of the year, the family got together November and December.
Yes.
So that's why they're fighting like which family you're going to visit. It was Thanksgiving for the husband family, Christmas and the wife's family. So they are arguing on that.
Many families will split, especially if you live farther from one side of the family. So in my case, we lived 1 hour from my mother's parents. We lived 12 hours by car from my father's parents.
Mm.
So we would do Thanksgiving with my mother's side of the family. And then our Christmas plans would depend on the school and the church schedule, because Christmas Day moves from different days of the week, but Thanksgiving stays on the same date or same day. Christmas is different days, same date.
Okay.
It depended on the year. Some years we would do Christmas on both. We would go Christmas at one family and then drive 12 hours Christmas at the other family. Other years we would do Thanksgiving and Christmas together at Thanksgiving with my mom's side, and then do Christmas with my dad's side.
I see.
So it depended on the year. And both sides of the family celebrated slightly differently. So my immediate family, my brother and my parents and myself, we would adjust our celebration style to match whichever side of the family we were seeing that year.
I see. So for Japanese, what should we be mindful of working with the American around this season?
Okay. There's a few things to be mindful of. One is schedule changes. Because it is a national holiday, many places will take off Wednesday until Friday. Some places will take off the entire week of Thanksgiving. Some places will take off only on Thanksgiving Day. So if you have American counterparts, it's a good time to double check your meeting plans to make sure that
Okay.
their plans are not changing. Sometimes we get a huge snowstorm blowing in, and where I live especially, you can't go anywhere in the middle of a huge storm. So we might have a plan to be half day of work on Wednesday, but a snowstorm is coming, so we make Tuesday the last day of work.
Ah, I see.
Yes, Thanksgiving is also the busiest travel days of the year in the US. The day before and then the Saturday, Sunday after Thanksgiving are the two of the busiest travel days. So if you're planning a business trip, avoid those days at all costs.
I see. So it's going to be like a flight. It's a very busy and the full, and the price of the flight is also going to be very expensive.
And if you're trying to drive or take a train or a bus, expect everything to be crowded, delays everywhere.
All right.
But in this Corona year, many places are saying don't gather for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So
it's going to
that-
be online then.
Yeah, hopefully. So that will cause extra stress for families, and in work, I think the stress will show through in a lot of ways. So be mindful of that potential stress that's going on, this very important family time. Many of these families have not been gathering over the past 9 months like we are in Japan. So this is the same as being told, don't go home for Shogatsu, don't go home for New Year.
I see.
Same level of seriousness.
Maybe like a full Saturday nighttime in the US, maybe network is going to be very busy because online gathering.
Online shopping.
Yeah, online shopping. We have to pay attention to that.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much overall, everyone. Now you know about Thanksgiving custom in the United States. So when you have American counterparts, so please be mindful of those and schedules. Also, there's customs. Thank you for listening and see you next lessons. Bye.